Hey y'all. Hello, hello. People of the stream, happy Thursday. How's everybody doing? I see Anita's out there and Sophia. Sophia says, first day at the psych ward went pretty well. Mostly bipolar or schizophrenics. Very nice people in general. I mean, that's my experience of at least bipolar people. I don't know if I know any folks who are schizophrenic. I mean, I might. I don't know. So there's Emily. Hi, Emily. How are you today? So today has been a very slow going day for me. I had I had weird dreams last night and I kept waking up all night. Like I probably woke up 3 times last night. Like just in the middle of the night for no apparent reason. And I do know I was having weird dreams, and every time I'd go back to sleep, I'd go back to maybe not the same point in the dream, but effectively the same dream. It wasn't a bad dream. And I don't think I was waking myself up because, so usually if I'm in a bad dream, or if it feels like, you know how a dream can turn bad? When that happens, I know I'm dreaming, and so I make myself wake up. And it wasn't that. It was just weird dreams, and I just kept waking up. And I don't know why. So I didn't sleep very well. And then when my alarm went off at 9:15, because that's like my alarm. If I'm not up by then, I need to be getting up. But like, I was in a dead sleep. And so I woke up, I was like, oh, I was so tired. So I snoozed it for about 15 minutes. But at that point, my brain had started working. So then I got up at like 9:30. But I literally haven't gotten anything done. I haven't even made out my planner page for today. So yeah, things have just been really goofy. So Alicia is over on YouTube. Hello, Alicia. Long time no see. She says, just joining. Happy Thursday. I'll be making my grocery list and going to do the shopping. Excellent. I mean, good luck out there. So yeah, I don't want to go anywhere near our grocery stores right now because we're supposed to get a freeze over the weekend, and you know there's not a fucking thing left in any of the grocery stores. I'm not even going to deal with that mess. We've got a full gallon of milk. We've got a ton of food in the house. I'm not going to worry about it. Emily says, doing all right. Late start because I was up late because I went to a hip hop dance class in Atlanta last night. What? I love that. Yay. Did you have a good time? Was it so much fun? Just going to try and write over lunch more. Good, good, good. Excellent. Sophia says, I'd really like today to be Friday, please. Sorry, you're going to be disappointed. If it was Friday, then this work week would be almost over. Well, you're more than halfway. That's good, right? But as it is, I have one more shift tomorrow night. Sigh. But still, if it was Friday, like, the work week is still almost over. You've only got one shift left. It's still almost over. Like, if it was Friday morning, you would still have the same number of shifts left. So, you know, pretend it's Friday. It works. Anita says, I'm doing my online grocery order. All the grocery stuff happening today. Emily says that the hip hop class was a blast. Awesome. Is this like an ongoing class? Are you going to go to another one like in a week or 2 weeks or whatever? Or was it just like a one-off? That's so cool. Yay. Huzzah. I love that for you. So, oh, excuse me. So an update on my friend who is in the hospital. She's doing really, really well. As a matter of fact, I texted her husband. I was like, just checking on you guys. What's going on? And he texted me back a picture of her. And you can see so she had open heart surgery. So you can see the scar. She has her, little thing open a little bit so you can see that. And then she's all like, and I'm like, all right, welcome back. Welcome back, my friend. So yeah. So she's doing well. We still don't know when she's getting out or what her recovery looks like once she's released, whether she has to go into a rehab facility for a while or whether she can go home, whether she's probably going to have in-home health for at least a little while if she doesn't go to rehab, I think. The good thing is even though their house has stairs, all of their normal living stuff is on one level. So she doesn't have to go down into she doesn't have to go downstairs if she doesn't want to. There's nothing down there she needs. So the kitchen, their bedroom, bathroom, all of that is on the same level. And so that's definitely a relief. So Emily says, yeah, it's weekly, so budget allowing, I'd like to go back. And glad to hear your friend is doing better today. Thank you. Yeah, her spirits are definitely... So he told me last night, so when they took her, because they had her sedated, right? They kept her in a medically induced sleep for several hours, like the next day. And they woke her up in the morning just to, I guess, check to make sure she'd wake up. And she flipped off the doctor and the ICU nurse. And then they put her back to sleep. I mean, they were going to put her back to sleep anyway. It wasn't because she flipped them off. But they needed to check her blood gases later. And they were like, if those come back normal, then we'll just... because she was still intubated. Like, she was still on the ventilator. So she flipped them off. So we knew she's fine. Like, mentally, aside from the normal mental things we go through, she's still all there. So that made me feel better. Let's see. Sophia says, clever house building means to have at least one bedroom and bathroom on the main living floor. Yes. Just in case you need it later on. Exactly. My house is not made that way. My house is not made that way. Although my house is split level, which means the bedrooms are on the upstairs level, along with 2 of the bathrooms. And then it's just like 6 steps down to the main level that has the living room, dining room, and kitchen. And then there's another 6 or 7 steps down to the, like, what is my husband's office and the laundry room. And there's also a half bath down there. So my house is not laid out that way at all. 6 steps would still be a lot for a rollator. No, that's true. I'm not even arguing with you. I'm just saying my house is not like that. Although it's not as bad as some houses. Like my mom's house, the kitchen and the living room and the dining room are all on one floor. And then, well, you walk in and you're actually on the basement level because the basement is just to the right when you first walk in. And then there's these stairs. And it's like something like 12 or 13 steps, and they're both narrow and steep. It's a really wide staircase, but the steps are narrow and steep. More than one person has fallen down coming down the stairs. Just like slid down on their butt because, yeah, it's just weird. And then she's got about probably 6 steps, I think, to go up to the bedroom area. But yeah, her house, yeah. So when my stepdad he started developing mobility issues, we actually have one of those chair stairs, the little chair on the side, and it goes up to both of those staircases. So, Alicia says, I have a single level, and I bought this house with knowing that I'm not getting any younger. Amen, my friend. Amen. I feel that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do today is finish my daily planning, which really is take all the shit I haven't done this week and dump it on the list, along with the shit I put down that I was going to do today. So it's going to be a pretty long list. And I have to call this parking. So I went to dinner with a friend of mine back in November. And it was one of those places that had paid parking, but you have to scan the QR code, and then you have to, put in your information and put in your credit card information and stuff like that. I think I typoed my license plate because I got this $85 chart or whatever it is, notice. And I'm like, I paid that. And I went back and looked, and because you get text, right? And I even actually paid extra because we stayed longer. So I re-upped it. So I was like, I know I did that. So I called them several times. No one ever answered. I left messages. No one ever returned any of my calls. And then I got a final notice. And it's just like, so I'm going to have to call them and and leave a message and tell them if they do not call me back, then I'm going to have to call the Department of Transportation to let them know that this company is not communicating with their customers in good faith. So I'm very annoyed with that. So I have to do that. But it's also my favorite aunt's birthday, so I'm going to call her, but not during the stream because she and I will chatter and I'll miss the breaks and all that. So I'll do that after the stream. But today's her birthday. Let's see. Sophia says I should do something useful. Yes, but luckily there are a lot of things that are useful that are also fun. So you could like cross stitch, or you could crochet, or you could read. There's lots of stuff you can do that's useful. Oh, excuse me. I know, right, Alicia? How rude. Yay, happy birthday to my aunt. Yeah, she's the best. For many, many years, she and I were the only liberals in the entire family. Not that most of them were like far right or anything, although some of them are now. But all of them leaned Republican, leaned conservative. And she and I were not like that at all. So, so I'm very happy that I'll be able to call her and talk to her. I've actually been thinking about her for about the last week, and I'll be like, oh, I should call her just to say hi. And I just kept not doing it. So I'll call her for her birthday, and then we'll get all caught up. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to work on figuring out what I got to work on. And then if I get done with that before the end of the sprint, I've almost got my Dragon Con guest, my guest mailing list. Like, I got everything set up so that I can then add the 2026 tag to the people who are guests for this year. Because then ultimately I'm only going to be sending emails to them later. So I have that all set up. I just have to write the email, finish the email for it. I've already started it. It's already actually almost done. And then I have to send it. So I'm going to work on the planning piece, and then I'm going to work on the Dragon Con mailing piece. Yeah, I can't cross, that's not up on my big list, but I can cross it off on my little list here. So I have a thing on my board up there where I have a column for each month. Not each month, but right now it's just got January and February. I need to put March up there. And then the projects I believe I'll have to work on in those months, and color-coded and all this kind of stuff. So when I work, so often those are just like the big umbrella piece, and under that there's a bunch of things I need to do. But then I get the dopamine for crossing off the little things, and then I get the big dopamine hit when I can cross something off that. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. I have 20 minutes on the clock. You can see we've got our cute little, I don't know what this little guy is here. I don't remember which one. Whoop. So it's this little one. See how cute? I love this little guy. I wish that you could make them bigger in this part, because look at how little this one is. Gets lost. Okay, anyway, enough of that. Okay, y'all ready? Let's get into it. Here we go. 20 minutes starts now. Okay, y'all, how'd you do? How'd you do? That is the end of that first sprint of the stream. We have been joined by Betty's Best, who says, "Ta-da! 'Tis I." I love that kind of entrance. That's one of my favorite kinds of entrances. So welcome in, new friend. Let's see. Kelly Colby joined us over on YouTube, and she is working on tax stuff. For those who don't know, she runs, she's the co-owner of Cursed Dragon Ship Press, or publishing. I don't know if it's press or publishing, but either way, it's it's a publisher. And so she is working on sending out tax forms to all her authors. Ooh, that's a headache. So good luck, my friend. So let's see. Emily says she has done about 400 words. Good job. Good job, my friend. So I did finish writing my planner page. I had to go off camera for a little bit. I'm having some tummy issues, so I'm probably going to go off camera for a little bit during the next sprint. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it settles down. Too much dairy this morning. I had a bowl of cereal and I put too much milk in it. So, my own fault. That's fine. It'll be fine. Okay. But I did, when I came back, I did start finishing up that email that I'm going to send. And it's just about done. I've just got a couple more things to put in, not like a couple more sentences to write, and then I'll reread it, then I'll send it out. So yeah, so then that'll be done. I can cross that off my list. Kelly over on YouTube says, "All done. Time to take the puppy to the park. It's her first time." Oh, Cora, you're gonna have all the fun. I'll be super interested to hear when you come back, like what her response was, because I can totally see her being freaked out that there are a bunch of other dogs there. I'm assuming you mean the dog park. But then I also can see her just like frolicking as a frolicker, but she's gonna have to make sure you're at her side, because I feel like she's gonna be scared otherwise. So I'm so excited to hear how it goes. Anita finished the grocery order despite distractions. Way to stay focused, my friend. Good job. Good job. Good job. So, anybody else want to check in? Emily says, also, this kind of broke my brain, but according to Scrivener, I'm at 8,571 words total right now. Not done by any means, but crazy how fast lots of small incremental writing adds up. That's exactly right. That's one of the things that I try to encourage writers to remember, is that here's the thing. If you write 2 paragraphs, like 2, regular size paragraphs, if you write 250 words every day, that's it, 250 words. You can do that in less than a half an hour. 250 words every day. By the end of the year, you will have a whole book. Well, you'll have enough words to have a book. Whether you'll actually have a beginning, middle, and end is entirely up to you. But yeah, you don't have to sit down for 6 hours and bang out 12,000 words, Small bites, small pieces, step by step. That's it. You're good. I can't really tell myself that because I won't listen to myself, but y'all should listen to me because it's right. I'm right. I just have trouble doing it myself. So, and I got this super weird idea last night. So I'm reading The Pirate Scourge by, I can't see it, my hand's over it, by Chris Jackson. I've been meaning to read this for like the last 6 or 8 months, but I hadn't been reading until this year, thanks to Kelly and Alicia for pulling me into the YouTube reading and writing community. So I've actually finished 2 books this year already. So this is my 3rd paper book that I'm reading, because I do read an audiobook in the car, and then I also have an ebook. I have an ebook on my phone I can read. But like, I was reading this, and of course it's piratey. And my new book that I've been working on, well, that I haven't been working on, but want to work on, theoretically, is a modern story. It's urban fantasy, so it's set in the modern world, but it is about a female pirate from the golden age of piracy. And it's got magic and stuff, so that all works. But last night while I was reading this, I got to thinking maybe I should be writing that story. like that character, like the pirate, the woman pirate's story. So now I don't know what the fuck to write. I'm stuck. Just because. And this is not a situation I usually have where I have too many ideas. This is not common for me. And I am pretty sure that this has to do with the fact that I'm reading more. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll see what I do with that. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like they need to be two entirely separate series just connected, though. So, Betty's Best says, funny you should mention pirates. Why is it funny, my friend? So, okay, but we need to get back to work. I think my tummy is settling. Fingers crossed. We'll see. I don't know. If I go running off in the middle of the sprint, you'll know it did not settle. Or that something awful happened. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on the next sprint. But feel free to use the chat as you wish. Betty's Best says, I feel as if I know where you were this morning. What? What? I didn't get anything done there either, so, you know. I was there, though. They can attest to it. I was there. Okay. Emily says, both. I mean, maybe alternate back and forth, or at least write a bit of the pirate one to spark inspo, then go back to the urban fantasy. And that's really kind of what I'm thinking. Because I have a very... I know who this character is, who the pirate character is in the modern setting, but I don't necessarily know how she became what she ultimately became, which I think is actually a really interesting idea to explore. Emily says, also, I agree that consuming others' art content is important for getting inspo for your own stories. Yeah, and typically I in the last many years at this point, most of my consumption of creative works is in the form of TV shows and movies and audiobooks. But I only listen to audiobooks when I'm driving, and I work from home, so I don't drive that much. So Betty's Best says, but I'm the wiener because I got there before you. Molly, is that you? Molly, is that you, Molly? Molly and I wreak havoc in Kelly and Alicia's streams because we can. That's really what it is. We can do it. So that must be Molly. Hi, Molly. I mean, yes, it is. Good. Nice to see you on Twitch, Molly. Yay. So happy you're here. Huzzah. All right, but we're going to get back to work. Enough of that. I got 20 minutes, and then we'll take a little break after that. Okay, let's go. All right, that was the timer. I didn't get to the unmute button fast enough so you could hear it, but I promise it was there. All right, how did everybody do? So I sent the email out I needed to send out. And I'm sad. Jonathan Mayberry emailed me and he said he is not going to be making 2026 because he has a book deadline that weekend. Stupid publishers. So yeah. So I did get, at least it went out and it worked. So I'm happy for that. Let's see how everybody did. Sophia says, I think I've decided that productivity-wise, this week just doesn't count. Girl, I feel that deep in my soul. But you got some crocheting done this week. That's important. You did stuff this week. Molly says, I agree. I don't really do much that is as important as what you guys do, but it has definitely been a null week. That's not true. That's not true. Honey, you're a reader. Without you, we wouldn't be here. We would not even be a thing. We would not even be a thing. So, do not ever negate what you do. All right. Sophia says, I'm just watching YouTube right now. That's valid. Emily got 270 words. Good job, Em. Good job. Sophia says, if some writing happens this weekend, I will be happy, but I've officially dropped all requirements. And sometimes you've got to do that. Sometimes that's the thing you have to do, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because you know what? We all know you, and you're going to be right back at it next week. But you had a really long week this week, too. You had a lot of work stuff. So that's just how it goes sometimes. Anita worked on her story. Yay! Good job. Which story? Is this, what is it? Hayward and Anderson? Is that it? Hayward and, I forget. I think that's right. I mean, it may not be the story you're working on, but I think that is the correct series name. So yeah. Okay. So we get a little break. So I'm going to put 5 minutes on the red timer. Boop. I'm going to step away. I scared the crap out of Basement Cat when I came out of the bedroom, because I went to the bathroom and I came out of the bedroom and he was up here and he was in the guest room, which is like a kind of kitty corner across the hall from my bedroom door. And he was not expecting sound because I opened the door and all of a sudden I just see this white streak like dash out of the guest room and just like whoo, take off down the hall. And he's partway, like he's starting down the stairs and I'm like, it's just me, but it didn't stop him. He just kept going. It was kind of hilarious. He's such a baby. He's such a scaredy cat. But you know what? Every male cat, I say that as if we've had as if we've had hundreds of male cats. We've only had 2, but both of them have been big chickens. The female cats are not afraid. They might be a little timid initially, but they're not afraid to come out and interact with people. Not the boys. Boys are huge, they are gigantic, and they are the biggest chickens. I feel like there's some kind of universal lesson in that. But that's just me. Okay. Anita said, yes, Hayward and Anderson. I'm so glad I got it right. And it is the story I'm working on. Yay! Yay! Okay, so we're going to be right back. I'm just going to step away for just a minute. I should be back relatively quickly. And we'll chit-chat and stuff. So if you need to get something to eat, you need to get something to drink, you need to use the restroom, this is the time we generally set aside for that. If you've been sitting this whole time, please get up out of your chair and just move around a little bit. I promise your body will feel better if you do that. If you're unable to do that, that's okay too. But yeah, if you can do it. Also, if you haven't taken your meds yet, shit, today's Thursday. I haven't taken any of my meds yet. That is how today has been. That is how today has been. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't do that. So yeah, usually it's the first thing I do when I sit down with my cup of coffee, but I'm already on my second cup of coffee and I haven't taken my fucking meds. So, all right, so I'm going to take my meds and we're going to go on break. Take your meds if you haven't yet. All right. And you should have by now. If you shouldn't have by now, don't take them. Don't like overdose on your meds. Okay, that's enough. You guys know what I mean. All right, I will be right back. You be right back. We'll meet back here in less than 5. Y'all, I love this. I love this station. This is the Electro Swing station on Pretzel Rocks. I freaking love the music on this station. Okay, let me turn the timer on, the red timer on here, so you see how much time on the what is it we're doing, break that we have. Molly says, I'm taking my meds stat. So Molly and I were both in Morning Pirates, and we both forgot our meds this morning. Great job, us. So I don't have any big plans this weekend, although our Georgia Equality, which is one of the political groups here in Georgia, it's specifically, I mean, it's in the name, equality, right? It's specifically for, like, the idea, it's the concept of, you know, equality and making sure people have the rights that they should have. So it's a very pro-LGBTQ, particularly trans organization, as well as minorities of all stripes, right? Anyway, they're having a, what the fuck is it called? I don't know. They didn't have a whole lot of information about what it is. It's really, what's it called? It is called advocacy training. Join us to learn about the current legislative outlook in Georgia and to develop critical advocacy skills needed to persuade legislators. So, legislators, not legislatures. Different word. I mean, anyway. So they have it both in person and via Zoom. So I signed up for the Zoom, and it's like 4.5 hours on Saturday afternoon. So I plan to do that. And then probably this weekend I'm going to go visit my friend in the hospital if I'm able. Like, if it's okay to do that. If she's, you know, in a, like, she's currently in the ICU. And I know you can have more than one visitor in the ICU. But I believe her son is in town with his wife. And so obviously I don't want to take up that space. So if she is open to visits, and is comfortable with that, I'll go out this weekend and see her. And if not, it's fine. I'll go next week sometime. Let's see. Molly says, our usual surrogate mama is on vacay. That's why we forgot. That's right. That's right. Christina is taking a break, which is well deserved. Well deserved. But she is definitely missed. She is definitely missed. So, all right. So that is the end of our sprint. So I can get rid of that timer. Yeah. So I've been thinking a lot about the trip to Europe, the move to Europe, and how I'm going to change the timing of like when I do what. And I think that the sprints can probably, these will probably stay with the same time because that will be evening time for me. But the Sunday night sprints may not, or not sprints, the Sunday night discussion may have to be changed to like Sunday afternoon. So I don't know why I just brought this up just now, but yeah. So, all right. Are we ready to get back into shit? Hey, Vale's here. Hey, Vale. Good to see you. Good to see you. Valereth has joined us on Twitch. Welcome in, friend. You are just in time for the next sprint. Excellent timing. Good job. Good job. All right. I have officially crossed one thing off my list. It's actually two things that were on the same line, but two things got crossed off, even though it's just one cross off. Because I have so much stuff to do, I have to cram a bunch of stuff on a bunch of lines. All right, so what am I going to work on next? I want to work on something that's going to be relatively quick. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I can put in an application for, I want to see about teaching a class at the May convention that I'm going to, but I haven't decided what I'm going to teach. So I'm going to go through the class schedule that is applicable for the content in that. I'm not going to, I run the writer's track there, so I'll be on writer's track stuff, but there's also, there's also other things to teach. And since I'm probably not going to be attending this con again anytime soon, I am going to go ahead and figure that out. Figure out what I want to teach. All right, let's do it. Excuse me. So, I've got another 20 minutes on the clock. If you haven't let us know what you're going to be working on this sprint, feel free to do that in the chat. But y'all know what I'm working on. All right, here we go. 20 minutes. Boom. All right, that's that sprint. How'd everybody do? I went to go put in that application and found the application window, it was closed. But that's okay because there'll be a late application and I run one of the tracks there. So if I want to put in an application at any point, I can put it in. So I'm not concerned about that. So then I realized I was going to apply for, I'm going up to Seton Hill University in June. So those of you who don't know, especially if you're kind of up in that northeast area of the United States, there's an event that the Alumni Association puts on called In Your Right Mind. In Your Right Mind. That is a really, really, really good workshop. At least it was. I haven't been in ages because I used to, for 5 years after I graduated the first time, I was the guest liaison. So I was the one who was responsible for contacting agents, usually in New York City, editors, and getting them into our event so that people, writers can learn from them and could pitch to them. So I did that for 5 years. And then after I stopped doing that, I kind of stopped going because it's a long haul. Like it's a 12-hour drive, you know, or fly. It's a $300 flight because for whatever reason, Pittsburgh is like stupid expensive to fly into, at least from the places I've lived. So, yeah. So, but I decided since we're moving out of the country that I should go up and see my people. So yeah, so we went ahead and I have to tell you guys something. My husband is writing. He has this sci-fi story he's had in his head for years. And I'm like, well, when are you going to write it? And he's like, well, I'm not a writer. And I'm like, writing is a skill like anything else. You get better the more you do it. And so yeah, but he's finally started writing. Now, he's not getting his resume done, in part because he's avoiding that with the writing. So I'm kind of afraid that once he does the thing he's avoiding, he's going to stop doing the writing, but you know, can't control him. So anyway, I think that's kind of cool. All right, Emily said, stepped AFK for a sec, just got back. Is the May convention you referenced earlier MomoCon? No, it is not. It is Frolicon. It is an adult convention, 21 and over, that has adult things at it. Let's just leave it there. Anita said, shared my daily social media post. I've been good this week in getting that done. Also did some art stuff. I find it completely amazing that you ever don't get stuff done or that you like avoid doing things. Anita, I feel like you are the person that I look at when I'm like, okay, I need to be more productive. I need to be more focused. I need to be more like Anita. That's really how I feel. So like the idea that you haven't been doing something is a revelation to me. Molly says, did I just hear you say you're moving out of the country? Yes, you did. My husband is an immigrant. It is no longer safe in the United States for him. Granted, he's white, but that no longer matters. I mean, we were already planning to go anyway, but yeah, so it's just getting worse and worse here. So I am not going to put him in the kind of danger. Like there's somebody who died in ICE custody several weeks ago who literally has all of the things, like he's white presenting. He has had his green card for 20 years or more. He's married to an American citizen and he has diabetes. And he died in ICE custody because they refused him medical treatment for his diabetes. And yeah, I'm not going to let that happen to my husband. Emily says, I know what that is. Haha. I've got a few people I know who have gone in the past. No need to explain. Well, if you decide to go this year, let me know. Or if you're interested in going, we may need some volunteers for the writer's tracks, for the writer's sales table and stuff. So like I've got spaces in my team. And there are a couple people who have helped me in the past who aren't making it this year or are doing their own things or whatever. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. If it's not, that's fine. But feel free to send me a private message if it is something you're interested in. Anita says, I avoid doing things all the time. A lot of it is housework. Yes, I'm with you on that. My house is a fucking mess. Yeah. And I mean, Anita, not that I'm happy that you're avoiding doing things, but like, I'm glad to hear that you also struggle with stuff, because like I said, like in my mind you are the person who gets everything done all the time. Not in that prim and proper, housewife kind of way, but like in that focused, I know what I'm doing, I'm getting shit done kind of way. So, yeah. Molly says, agreed about being an immigrant in the US. Hugs. Thank you. Yeah. I'm like, when he goes to the grocery store, I immediately pull up Google Maps and watch and make sure that he's where he's, not because I'm afraid he's not going to go where he's supposed to be, but I'm afraid somebody's going to overhear his accent and he's going to disappear. That's what I'm afraid of. Emily says, I'll check the calendar and let you know. Excellent. Awesome. Okay. I am going to, it's not time for a break, but I finished my coffee. I'm completely off schedule in terms of my refills and all the things. So, I need to do that. And I also need to go to the bathroom, not for tummy issues, just for regular pee. So I'm going to do that in the first couple minutes of this sprint, and then I'm going to come back and figure out what I'm working on next. I'm not really sure. So I can't do that. I should probably start putting together a schedule for that, though. I don't know. I should do multiverse stuff, too. I keep putting it off. Okay, anyway, I'll figure it out when I get back. All right. So, y'all want to get back into it? If you haven't let us know what you're working on this round, feel free to do that in the chat so that we can cheer you on. You don't have to tell us. You don't have to. But how are we going to cheer you on if you don't? I'm just saying. All right, 20 minutes, y'all. Let's get into it. Here we go. I'm going to be off camera for the first couple minutes. All right, y'all, that's the end of that sprint. How'd you guys do? So I sent out an email to my authors for the May convention, reminding them that tomorrow is the deadline for them to fill out the survey that lets me know which panels they want to be on. So so I'll be starting that next week sometime, or maybe over the weekend. And then, so I crossed that off my list. And then I realized there's something for multiverse I can't do till next week, or I don't need to do till next week. So I moved that on my schedule, and then I don't remember what else I did. Emily says no writing, but got work stuff done and a few emails I needed to get sent. Huzzah! Good job. Look at you, super productive. I love that. I love that. I don't know what I'm doing next, but we get a break because it's 2:00. Let's see. Anita fell down an Instagram rabbit hole and more sharing. I understand that. For me, it's not Instagram, it's Threads. Threads is my rabbit hole place. Mandy's here. Hi, Mandy. Welcome in, my friend. Good to see you here. Mandy took the dog out, made coffee and breakfast, and ate half of same. Nice. Nice. Vale has one paragraph of part 5 of their story. I mean, getting that first paragraph sometimes the hardest, honest to God. Mandy said, oh, I ended up getting over 400 words done yesterday on book 2. Yes. Love that. Love that. Huzzah. Awesome, awesome. Molly has taken her meds. Molly has taken her meds. All right. Anita got hooked by a serial killer podcast. Girl, last night I watched, there's this woman who is a psychiatrist. She's a medical doctor who went into psychiatry, and she's interviewed like 22 different serial killers and a whole bunch of just regular old murderers. And she's the one who kind of recognize this whole idea that most people who turn out very violent, it's because they've had violence and or like serious violence and or trauma in their childhood. Anyway, it was really interesting. It was really interesting to watch. So she had interviews with Ted Bundy, and she was like, she didn't even she only marked the date on the little cassettes where she recorded them because she was afraid that they might get stolen or whatever, and people would recognize what they were, which I thought was interesting. Mandy says, yay meds! Vale says, I'm going to have to fill out that paragraph to reach at least 1,000 words. You can do it. I have faith in you. I have faith in you. Molly says, I sure hope you were using hooked figuratively. Blink twice if you're in trouble. Exactly. Anita said, Who Did What Now is doing a 1940s crime month. Okay, that's cool. I have such a fascination with violent crime, like specifically like serial killers, murderers, and things like that. And one of the things about the documentary I watched last night is that, you know, there are a lot of people who are interested in the crime, but what this psychiatrist was really interested in was the reason behind the crimes, right? And for me, that's a big part of my interest in them too. You know, like the human mind and like parasocial relationships and, you know, all the way we move through the world and the way the world affects us is, and how that manifests itself in our mentality and our behavior, that I find incredibly fascinating. And that's really what kind of draws me to read about these criminals, you know, or watch shows about them or whatever. So Mandy says, she's so fun. Wait, who are we talking about? I'm not sure who she is there. I'm trying to think of if there was, I don't know. But I feel like we're all so fun. How about that? Okay, wait, we get a break. I keep forgetting. But I already went off and I did my things during that sprint because they could not wait. And so I'm just going to start the timer, the red timer for our break. I guess I could make the other timer 5 minutes. Let's do that. We'll just make the other timer 5 minutes. And we'll use that since it's already here. And then, we're just on a little break and we will chitty chat and things. I don't know if anybody's even over on YouTube anymore. Alicia, are you still over there? I know Kelly. Alicia had to go to the grocery store, but I don't think I saw that she let me know that she was leaving. Not that she has to, but I did not see that. And then I know Kelly was going to take Cora to the dog park. So I don't know, and I know Molly was like doubling over there. But I don't know if anybody else is over there because I went off of my multi-stream chat onto Twitch and I didn't realize I didn't go back. And the thing is, if you're not actively on the multi-stream tab, it doesn't populate. So when I went back to the multi-stream tab, it was completely blank. So yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. I want to find a better way of doing this all. So I want to get a handle on my video stuff. Because one of the things I want to do is do more videos, just generally. So Molly is over on YouTube. I think Alicia left you open for watch time, same as me. You guys are awesome. I love you. Yeah, I figured she hadn't said anything in the chat in a while, so I kind of figured she'd gone to the grocery store, and that's totally cool. And I appreciate her leaving me up so I get the view time. So I have been getting more people into the YouTube stream, which I'm really happy for. And I mean, I really enjoy Twitch, don't get me wrong, but what I really like about Twitch is all the fun things you can do with Twitch. If I could do that shit on YouTube, I would probably just be on YouTube. But I do want to add more to my YouTube thing, and I feel like I need to do another updated getting started with Scrivener video, maybe. I haven't decided. I don't know, there's lots of things I want to do, but then when it comes time to do them, I'm like, I don't want to do the things, you know what I mean? So yeah, there was just a weird sound. Oh, somehow I paused. I wasn't touching anything on my computer and my timer paused. Yeah, I hate this laptop. Okay, Molly says in the Twitch, BookTube Mama is fantastic at recruiting peeps on YouTube. I know, I love her so much. I love her so much. I have to actually schedule the next 4 or 5 weeks of streams here so that if I have them scheduled on YouTube, she can add them to the spreadsheet. Y'all, there's a spreadsheet of writing and reading sprints and events that are happening. So yeah. And so I have to make those because I think this week was the last week that I had them. So I will have to schedule some more. Maybe I'll do that right after the sprint since I still have my Streamlabs open. And at some point we'll start looking for more spirits on Spirit City. I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 more to find. I just haven't had the brain power to actually do that. Alicia's back! Yay, we were just talking about you. Alicia's back from the grocery store. She did her shopping, dropped off something at the post office, and picked up lunch. What's for lunch? I should probably eat lunch too, right? But I just ate breakfast like 2.5 hours ago. And I don't know. I feel like I should eat lunch. But I don't really feel like eating lunch. So maybe I'll wait. So, what did you get for lunch, Alicia? But if I eat too late... no, I don't ruin my dinner ever. I can always eat dinner. So, hubby is going to make pasta for dinner tonight. He's made this, and I can't eat like spaghetti and fettuccine and stuff like that, but I can sometimes eat stuffed pasta like tortellini, but it has to be overcooked. And I know like al dente is the way to eat it, and I would love to eat it al dente, but that will make me vomit. So he overcooks it, but he gets pecorino cheese and he makes like this sauce that has pepper. I don't know what the fuck's in it, but I know it's got a lot of pepper in it and cheese. And oh my god, but it's so good. So he's making that tonight. I'm very excited. Molly says, "Oh yum! I've been totally craving pasta all week. Vomit is bad." No, it's true. Vomit is bad. Yeah, there are certain things like I can't eat most pasta unless it's really overcooked, which kind of defeats the purpose. Or like if it's in soup and stuff, I can do it because it's saturated and so it's mushier. It's really I have to be able to mush it down before I swallow it. And yeah, so I'm super excited about dinner tonight. Also that I don't have to cook. Win. So yeah. All right, timer's up, y'all. Did y'all get all your stuff done? Here's a quick reminder: if you haven't taken your meds, and you should have taken your meds by now, take your damn meds. I was late taking my meds, so I still have all my afternoon meds to take. So I'm gonna start taking those down too. Anita says, "I like overcooked pasta too, though I can eat it al dente." I would prefer to eat it al dente, but I've learned my tummy does not want that anymore. It can't. And the problem is, for me, I had gastric bypass about 20 years ago. And so, like, the exit of my tummy, of my stomach is super tiny. And so you have to get things mashed down or bitten into tiny, tiny little pieces. And the thing about al dente pasta is that you can't really do that. You can't get it chewed down to small enough because pasta kind of squirms around your mouth. So yeah, and that's what makes me vomit. I did make sure pull the Oracle card, Fiona. Mandy, thank you. Because I was on the multi-stream, and the multi-stream does not show Twitch-specific things unless there's a comment on them. So I have the Oracle cards. So tell me if you want this to be for everybody or you want it to be just for you. Either one is fine. It is not selfish to want it just for you. So let me find the... Ooh, I wonder if I... Ooh, yeah. So I have to go find the thing. I haven't pulled an Oracle card since we had to replace my hard drive. So it is over in the little, what you call it? Oh, no. I put it on the server. Wait, I think I'm looking in the wrong place. I did put it on the server. Phew. Anyway, I thought I was going to have to go spelunking through my old drive to find the guidebook for this. All right. Do either of you ever make homemade pasta? Might it make a difference? I do not, because it's too much work. I don't care enough. I can eat gnocchi, so if I want, and I love gnocchi, but it's potato pasta and it's easily mushable. And so if I'm going to eat pasta, and pasta is, I'm Italian, so pasta is like a comfort food for me. So if I need pasta, it's almost always going to be gnocchi. Mandy says, let's just do for me. Haven't had my cards read in a bit. Well, you know, I'm not nearly as good as you because I'm just going to read you the shit on the thing. But I am happy to do it for you, my friend. Let's see. Molly said I could grab one of my decks. Mandy's been like, I've been doing all the reading. Yeah, I get it. And again, I am not like you. So, but I'm going to, okay. So we're going to give it some shuffles. We're going to give Mandy the message that the universe needs to give you. So, here we go. All right. So, now let's see which card is Mandy's. Now, I think I missed it. I think it's in the top part. Actually, I think it's that one right there. You were the second card on the deck. All right. Oh, it's upside down. Transformation. Shed, let go, make room for greatness. So there's the card. Isn't it pretty? Look at how pretty that is. Okay, let me find this in the book. Page 87. It's way down there. Okay. Whoop, too far. Overshot. Okay, transformation. Let me switch. Okay. All right, when something no longer serves you, it holds you back from achieving your full potential. We all have a set of beliefs, habits, goals, ideas, layers, and masks that we grow up with. These are typically things society projected upon us. They feel familiar and safe, but as you shift your focus and change directions, many things are no longer helpful. It's okay to let them go. It is okay to admit that something no longer serves you. It is okay to change. Change is required for growth. Take an honest look at all the areas of your life. Health, career, relationships, spirituality. Is there something that is holding you back? Is there something you want but you are scared to let go of? Be gentle with yourself. Growth can be painful, but it is always worth it in the end. There is so much potential and greatness within you. Do not let anything or anyone stop you from achieving your dreams and your highest self. So there's a quote from Deepak Chopra. In the process of letting go, you will lose many things from the past, but you will find yourself. And there's an elemental spell for letting go. Light a candle and sit down with a pen and paper. Write down 10 things you would like to release from your life. It can be anything from annoying habits to outgrown relationship. Once finished, light the paper and burn it completely. Remember to have a bowl with water handy. Safety first. If fire is not your favorite element, you may choose to bury the paper in the ground, releasing everything back to the earth. You may also choose to offer it to the nearest body of water or tear it into small pieces and release them into the air. So, Mandy, transformation, my friend. Transformation. That's your message from the universe today. Mandy's like, oof. So pretty, but oof, right? Molly says, that's gorgeous. What's the name of the deck? It is... Hang on. Let me... It is the Moon Witch Oracle. And so here's like the back. It's very woman focused. So here's like the back of the cards. So, but like, it's got really pretty artwork. Mandy says, when releasing things, remember to add, and it harm none. Yes, that is an excellent, excellent addition to that. Or you might have a stroke to get rid of your shitty job. Ask me how I know. I feel like we don't need to ask. That's what I feel like. Yes, no, I agree. And you know, you don't want other people hurt when you're letting go of things, right? To also, you know, not just yourself. Because, you know, sometimes life has a way of, like, fucking you over. Like, you know, I would really like to, you know, change the whole interior of my house. And so what happens? A tree falls on it. So, you know, be careful what you wish for and all that. I'm just saying. All right. Thank you, Mandy, for purchasing the Oracle card reward. For those who are not subscribers on Twitch, there's an ad incoming in 1 minute. There's your warning. But we're going to go ahead and get back into the regular sprints. We're running real late now. So 20 minutes, that's okay. I don't have anything else to do, so we may just go over. Let's see. Mandy says, you can definitely bless people out of your life. And there's some people, like, I would be okay with blessing out of my life in some ways. I don't want them, like, hurt or dead or anything, but you know what I mean. You're welcome, Mandy. Glad I could help. Okay, here we go. 20 minutes. I have to sneeze. Let's go. Well, that timer caught me off guard. I was not ready. So what I've been doing this sprint was I had downloaded Zotero, which is a little app that lets you store your research, and it can help if you're writing like nonfiction kind of things where you've got to cite your sources and stuff like that. But it's also a place to just keep different things from the internet that you find useful or that you want to go back and find again. And it's different than like bookmarks in that you can tag things and you can sort them into, well, bookmarks you can sort in folders too, but you can tag based on what it is, and you can keep little snapshots of what it looks like in there and stuff like that. So I've been taking my open tabs, things that I know I'm going to need to reference more and more, and I'm also going to use this for reference for my writing as well, for my stories and stuff, just so that I have, because I can store it in Scrivener, but then it only lives in that Scrivener file. So if I also store it here, or instead store it here, as I'm working on other things that are not that one particular story, I'll still have access to them. So that's kind of what I did that round, was sorting the stuff I already have in open tabs into that, tagging them, organizing them into folders and things like that. Let's see. Mandy got almost 100 words this sprint. Huzzah! Huzzah! Good jobs. And Alicia says that she's going to step away for a few minutes, but I am probably going to keep going for a while. I feel like I'm getting stuff done, so I'm going to keep going. Emily, got a couple more 100 words done. You've got to be getting close to 1,000 or somewhere right around 1,000 now. And Anita worked on the story. There's been a lot of naming of things today. The naming of things is an important venture. I can't remember what that's from. It's not that. That's a paraphrase. The naming of things. I can't remember what it's for. It's got a kids vibe to it for me, and a sort of musical, not necessarily musical, but lyrical, the naming of things. Cats? It's Cats. That's what it's from. It's from Cats. Okay. Sorry, I had to figure that out in my brain. Let's see. Yes, and Molly says, woot, Mandy and Anita, and woot, Emily. We always need the cheerleaders. That's a really important role. Mandy says, this book has a lot of not holding on to negative self-image just because society thinks it. Yes, we love that. We love that. Emily says 900 total for the day. Running out of steam a bit for what I want to write, so I don't know, may take a break. That's valid. Wanted to stay the whole time today, though, because I'm not going to be in the meeting tomorrow because I've got a lunch out of the house. Dang. Why you go out of the house? Why do you feel the need to do that, Emily? You know I'm kidding. Please go out of the house and be social with humans in, like, 3D. Well, I hope you have a lovely lunch tomorrow. So yeah, Emily's talking about our Zoom co-working that happens tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Mandy says, for the guys even, men's mental health is important too. 100%. Like, men are as impacted by societal standards and the patriarchy as anybody else. For them, it may not be as implicitly dangerous to move in our world, but they absolutely are impacted 100%. Emily's meeting a friend. Good. Ooh!
Vailrith just followed. Yay.
Yay! Vale just followed. Huzzah! Yes, thank you for the follow, friend. Let's see. Super weird in that it didn't actually show up in the chat. Okay, that's weird. All right, but I love my little flying. I put my little Pride Girl on for that particular event, for when people follow I put her on there during Pride Month, I think 2 years ago, and I was just like, I love her so much. We're keeping her. We're just keeping her forever. So she makes me happy every time she comes up on the screen. Obviously, it means someone followed me on Twitch, which always makes me happy, but like she makes me happy. Just like her joy. So yeah. I know she's a cartoon, y'all. Don't even. Okay, let's get into another sprint. I'm just gonna keep sprinting until I don't feel like sprinting anymore. So, yeah, so we'll see. It may be after this one. We may do another one after that. We may do another one after that. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do this round. I do need to set up a performers app for multiverse, and that's been on my list for like several weeks now, and I haven't gotten to it, so I keep putting it off. Mandy says she's so cute, and every month is Pride Month here. Same. So yeah, absolutely. But I love her. She gives me joy. Just her little smile and how excited she is, waving that flag. Yeah, that makes me happy. Okay, shall we get back into it, y'all? Let's get shit done. Here we go. 20 minutes, and off we go. Okay, y'all, that was that sprint. I set up the template for the performers application I need to make, and then I realized I actually probably need to eat now. So I ran down and I got a Lunchable, and I just finished that about a minute before the timer went off. And then I opened a package of Lorna Doones. Y'all, I love these. They are absolutely my favorite shortbread cookie ever. Ever, ever. So, how did you guys do that round? Excuse me. I've been having a lot of drainage today, so I'm like all day long. So yeah, so let me know how you did in the chat. We're probably going to do one more sprint, then I'll wrap it up. For those who are on Twitch, I'll be raiding. I'm going to go find somebody for us to raid. For those on YouTube, I'll just end the stream. Sorry about that. So let's see. Emily got 400 words, so she's at 1,300 words total today and found a new stride. We like it. Awesome. Great job. Mandy got 120 words. Yes. And Ren joined us over on YouTube, and Ren is reading, let me go back and look. Ren is reading The King Must Die by Kemi Ashwingiwa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it looks interesting. If you like sci-fi, it looks like it's probably really good. Mandy, so Ren is at 30%. Huzzah. Good job, good job. Mandy also helped Matt with some Spanish for work. Nice. Excellent. Anita got more words written, falling down the rabbit hole of Victorian menus. I mean, that sounds cool. Molly started finding homes for the way too much useless junk I bought at Dollar Tree. Also collecting all the trash, not the usual, okay, took out the kitchen trash, but all the trash. It'll get picked up tomorrow morning. Yay! That's my husband's job. So he actually, I think, probably needs to go up and get the recycling. Oh no, they pick up today, so there's no telling what time they'll come. So, yeah, everybody did rock that sprint. Molly, you also rocked that sprint. Organizing all the shit that you buy is a big deal. Anita says, doing the Victorian menus makes me hungry. Well, eat. Mandy says, that's awesome, Molly. Yes. And Molly thanked Mandy. Yay. All right. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Blech. I feel like there's just gunk all up in here that needs to come out, but it won't come out. I feel congested. I think I'm going to give myself a nose spray later. And maybe after the stream. Y'all don't need to see that. So I'm going to go and find somebody on Twitch for us to raid. I may put up a poll. Maybe, maybe not. I haven't decided. Let's see. Mandy's going to take her meds this sprint before she gets back to writing. That's a good idea. I'm going to take a couple of my afternoon vitamins. So we're going to give everybody a final reminder to take your damn meds if you haven't taken your meds yet. All right. 2 more pills to take. Okay. Molly says, do you want me to punch you in the nose and see if that helps, my friend? You are so incredibly selfless. I am so grateful for the offer, but I think I'll pass. I'm going to try the up the nose spray first. If that doesn't work, then we'll go with the nose punching. You are so good to me. What would I do without you? Y'all, Molly and I have known each other like, what, a month? Not even, I don't think, but like, we just really connect. We just really connect. So, you are... Okay, I'm here for you. And I am so fucking grateful for that, my friend. Thank you so much. Yeah, right about a month. And Mandy and I have known each other for well over a decade. And like, Mandy, do Molly and I not just like really mesh really well? We really do. So, okay. All right, let's get into it. So I have 20 minutes on the clock. Like I said, this will be the last sprint of the stream. And I'm going to go find somebody for us to raid over on Twitch. So, let's get into it. Let's end strong. After I find somebody to raid and eat a couple of these shortbread cookies, I'm going to work on that application again. All right. Yeah, Mandy's like, about 15 years, and you definitely do. Yeah. Molly and I, like, ping off each other a lot really well, I think. Okay, 20 minutes, y'all. Here we go. Okay, y'all. That's it. That's the stream. How did you do that round? What did I do? I I looked and saw that Starborn Striker was streaming. So we haven't rated her in ages at all this year, I don't think. So I thought we would go jump in her stream. She's doing sprints, although she is not adhering to the sprinting, but she's doing the sprints for the audience. She's just like working all the way through. But yeah, so she's a fun streamer. I really enjoy hanging out in her stream. She's very, very focused, and I need that in my life. Let's see. Molly says thanks for sprints. You're welcome, friend. Thanks for hanging out. Emily got 2,100 words for the day. Go you. If you think about it, that's like 4% of a novel or something. So like you did good. Okay, maybe 2%. But you still did good. That's awesome. In one day. That's awesome. Let's see. Mandy got about 15 words and meds, which is honestly the more important piece. Anita finished writing their dinner order scene. They will eat well. I love that. I love that. Mandy's like, nom, 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 nom. Ren said, didn't really read at all that sprint, but thanks for sprints. Thank you for hanging out, Ren. Very nice to have you in my YouTube chat. Yay. All right. I'm going to go over the events of the coming week for TWT as I know them. I'm going to put in the links to join TWT on Facebook and Discord. And well, there's the Discord, so I don't have to do that one. That one just went automatically. I'm going to apologize in advance because this will double post. I still haven't focused on tracking down why it's doing that. Emily says, I feel good about it, and I don't know about the word count, and I don't know. I'm trying not to worry too much about average word counts. To be honest, if anything, I'm fine with the end results being more of a novella too. I don't know. We'll see. Ha ha ha. But yeah, trying to just write what I want to write, and wherever I end up word count wise, so be it. Yes, and the other piece is that your word count is probably going to change drastically during revisions. It's very rare when I finished a first draft of a novel for it to be longer than like 65,000 words. And 80,000 is usually the minimum or the sweet spot for an adult size novel. And yeah, I always end up adding words, but other people will end up with like 110,000 and then it'll get whittled down to like 90,000, right? So don't worry at all about your word count in your first draft because it's going to change. It's going to change. So don't even worry about that. All right. So this is the Discord link was just shown. This is the Facebook link. So I'm going to go over the events of the coming week as I know them. Let me get over to my calendar. Tonight at 7 p.m., Amelia has her 30-minute writing sprint. She goes from 11 until 9. These are all Eastern time, by the way. So if you're in a different time zone, you're going to have to do that math. So 7 p.m., Amelia's 30-minute writing sprints. Then tomorrow at 1 p.m., I will be hosting our Zoom co-working. That is our original co-working for the Writers Troupe. So that was the very, very first one I ever started doing. So that goes from 1 till about 2:30. We do 2 30-minute sprints. Then at 7 p.m., Amelia does her writing sprints again from 7 till 9. On Saturday at 11 a.m., over on the Discord, James hosts his Saturday Discord sprints. If you pop into the voice channel in the sprinting section, he will be there waiting for you. He goes from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. On Sunday morning, we have the Sunday morning write-in with Lisa Raby. She starts at 10 a.m. and goes till noon. I don't think she's posted whether she's actually doing it this week. She always lets us know, usually Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, whether she's actually going to be able to do it this week. And if she's unable to do it, if you can't find her stuff at 10 a.m., if it's not open or whatever, pop over to the Discord. Usually when Lisa's not around to do hers, Daylin does sprints on the Discord in that same time frame, so 10 a.m. until noon. Then on Sunday evening, we have our usual Zoom chat. That's at 7 p.m. The event is up in the Facebook group, and in that event is a post where you can vote. It lists all the topics that are available for this week, and you're absolutely welcome to suggest additional topics. And you can vote on any of the topics you want, all the topics you want. I wouldn't recommend on voting every single topic because you're basically, canceling out your own vote. But you can vote on multiple topics. So definitely go in and vote. I tally those up at about 5:30 on Sunday evening so that we know what the hell we're talking about at 7. We have no sprinting or anything on Monday. I believe Joe's going to be back the following week with his sprints and meditation. I'll check in with him sometime in the next week just to double check and make sure that's correct. So nothing on Monday, but on Tuesday at 7 p.m., Amelia's doing her writing sprints again, 7 till 9. Then on Wednesday, I'll be right back here at noon, from noon till 3. And I'm not sure if Daylin is starting up he does a workshop kind of thing where people can brainstorm and help each other out. He does that on Wednesday evenings, but this year his work schedule's gotten a little wonky, so he was taking this month off until further notice. So I'm gonna also check in with him and see where that is. I don't think he's doing it next Wednesday. But that brings us around to Thursday, where we'll be doing this again, unless something major changes. Like I said, my friend who's in the hospital, she's obviously going to need some help around the house whenever she goes home. So there's always the possibility that some of my schedule next week or moving forward after that might get shaken up a little because obviously I'm going to go over and help them out. So I'll keep everybody apprised of that as things go on. All right. Mandy says, I think I'm at 95K in terms of word count for her work in progress, and we'll end up down to 90-ish for book 1. Yeah. I mean, that stuff happens all the time. All the time. So we don't ever want to get hung up on what our word count is in our first draft. As long as it's not like, 10,000 words and you're trying to write a novel. Because if you've only got 10,000 words and you're trying to write a novel, you've really only got the outline. The 10,000 words is your outline. So yeah. So don't even worry about word count, Emily. It'll be fine. Okay, so over on Twitch, we are going to raid Starborn Striker, who is our friend we haven't seen in quite a while. On YouTube, I'm just going to close it down, but y'all know when we're going to be doing this again, so hopefully you will join us. Thank you for joining us today, though. Okay, let me find her on my list. There she is. And we're going to start the raid. If I can actually hit the button. Okay, why is it not popping? Oh, because I'm not on the right thing. Okay, there we go. All right, y'all. That's it. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Those of you who are going to join me tomorrow for the Zoom co-working, I will see you then. Otherwise, I hope I see you guys again soon. We'll see you later. Wait, hang on. I got to hit the button. Bye, y'all. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Hasta la pasta. Where's the damn button? Okay, bye.
Writers Troop, welcome in. Thank you for the raid.